And MPs have been eulogizing frontline workers for their efforts in helping Ghana contain the COVID-19 pandemic as the nation marks Workers' Day today. Let's go live to Parliament, where my colleague Joseph Opoku-Gatto joins us with the latest. Joseph, what can you report from the House?
This morning, the House has been approving a loan facility from EcoBank in order to allow for the construction of the Lot 5 and 6 of the Eastern Corridor route. That's what they've been focusing a lot of attention on this morning. But late last night, the Employment Minister, Ignatius Bafwell, who is the MP for Sunyani West, was on the floor. He gave details of how frontline health workers have been helping the nation deal with COVID-19. And he says they are folks who should really be celebrated. Apart from the health people, all the others who've been at the forefront in helping the nation contain the virus are people who should be celebrated. He went on to make the point that although it's very likely that COVID-19 will negatively impact the economy, government commitment to improve upon the welfare of workers generally from healthcare to other areas is something that they are committed to, and that they will put in place the necessary steps to make the lives of workers better. There were contributions to that from the majority leader, Seti Mensah Montu, who is also Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, as well as the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu. Haruna Idrisu wants to see a situation where other issues like pensions, like maternity for women, and also the abuse of domestic workers is not ignored, even as everyone focuses on COVID-19 as a way to ensure that workers have better conditions to work in. And the majority leader makes the point that negotiations on whether we should see upward adjustment in salaries and remuneration as far as workers generally are concerned in the light of COVID-19 should begin now, so government is not hit by any surprise going into the future. So
you talk of the loan facility for the Eastern Corridor project. Is that the only reason why our MPs would have to sit today on a holiday?
That's even a side issue that eventually got introduced in the course of yesterday. Once that gets approved, the House will be debating a report from the Finance Committee of Parliament recommending that the House approves the tax waivers for healthcare personnel across the country that the President announced a few weeks ago for a period of 3 months as a way to boost their confidence in dealing with COVID-19. That will be approved in the next few minutes after the loan agreement is approved. As well, you recall that frontline health workers are supposed to get 50% of their basic allowance as additional allowance. Parliament is giving them a tax waiver so they don't have to pay for any extra tax waiver on that allowance. That again will be approved. And additionally, when it comes to the filing of taxes, Parliament will be doing an amendment to the Act establishing the GRA in order to lift the penalties that will accrue once people delay in filing their tax returns as a way to ensure Ghanaians are better cushioned in the light of COVID-19. When all of that is done, then we would hear the closing addresses from the Speaker, from the majority and the minority leaders, and the House will attend indefinitely for at least over the next 2 months.
What is the indication you get from the minority? Because I think that the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, had raised issue with due process, and he thinks that the President should have referred to Parliament before even making these announcements as far as the tax waivers are concerned for frontline health workers.
He's been raising concerns that announcements are made by the President without due regard to various processes that are required. And then after that is said and done, then the President virtually springs surprises on Parliament and then introduce the Act in order to allow for that in Parliament. He wants to see a situation where negotiations and discussions and collaborations happen at Parliament even before the President goes ahead to make that announcement. But he's been indicating alongside members on the Finance Committee, and again, from the indication we're getting at the level of the Finance Committee of Parliament, is that the minority is backing these tax waivers and also the changes to the GRA law because they agree that that is something that would work in the national interest. Although they have concerns about the due procedure, they make the point that in the broader national interest, they will eventually back it and they will reject any of these approvals that government is seeking from Parliament.
Joseph, thank you very much for bringing us up to speed with what's happening on the House on 1st of May, which is a workers' holiday. We have our MPs sitting to approve a number of bills that have been brought to the House by the executive. We'll return to Joseph in our subsequent bulletins for more updates.